Super Rugby round number 9, folks. The Waratahs stunned the Chiefs. Brumbies put down a statement win over Australian rivals the Reds. Highlanders broke their drought. We'll go through the results pretty quick. You guys can let us know your thoughts, and then we'll look at the standings and how things are looking in terms of the fixtures for round number 10 as we get slowly towards the business end of the competition. First game of the week was the Hurricanes taking on the Crusaders. Did a match review for that one, but I think the Crusaders kind of got the expected win, although it was a bizarre game in that the Crusaders were down early 7-0, but then they pushed back to be up 31-10, but then had to just defend wave after wave after wave of Hurricanes attack. They got a couple of yellow cards, the Crusaders, but they still managed to hang on. My maths is bad because I assumed that the Crusaders were 2 scores up, but no, that the Hurricanes were only a score away from making this kind of go to super point. You know, it was a losing bonus point for the Hurricanes. So, yeah, the Hurricanes pushed right until the death, but could not get it done. Peter Umaga-Jensen looked pretty good. He bagged a couple of tries. Looking at his stats, he beat 8 defenders, which was the top guy for the game, so he's certainly looking solid. Lakai also got one for the Hurricanes. It was the forwards. Getting a bit of glory for the Crusaders though. Samaiti Williams, Moananu grabbed a couple. James O'Connor and Fihaki getting them for the backs. But yeah, the Crusaders' last score came on like the 51st minute. And then the rest of the game was basically spent defending. Scotty Barrett had a pretty good game. There's been a bit of pressure on him, saying that he's been underperforming. Well, he set up a couple of tries in this one and generally looked good around the park. Noah Hotham also up against potential All Blacks rival Cam Roigard certainly put in a good shift at number 9 for the Crusaders. So, yeah, Karefi tackled the house down for the Canes, but not enough in another loss for them. So, yeah, Crusaders, top of the log and crusading on. The second game was more of an upset. There is a losing bonus point in this one as well, but it's for the Chiefs. 21 points to 14. The Tahs, I think they said it was the first win over the Chiefs since 2016. So quite the result for the Tahs. Why are they such a good side at home and so terrible on the road? It is bizarre, and the Chiefs have surrendered top spot with the loss. Suali'i in the battle of the big name stars up against DMAC certainly put in the better of those two performances. DMAC was visibly not happy with his performance in the post-match interview, and he dropped a lot of ball. The Chiefs dropped a lot of ball generally, but DMAC was at the kind of forefront of that. Suali'i gets his first try for the Tahs, plus Riley and Wilson also go over for the Chiefs. It is Carter and Finau getting the tries. The Tahs also had a try denied for Ketty as well, but man, like the try of the week, the try of the year maybe in Super Rugby, try of the season, the Teddy Wilson one was coast to coast unbelievable stuff from literally their own goal line, defending Chiefs' waves of attack, and then from turnover ball go down the other end and score a try. That one is pretty unbelievable. I reckon that one's probably worth game of the week, just because it was such an upset result. Because the Tahs made 225 tackles to 136, so it was built on defence, but then there's some magic attack as well. They had tries chalked off, like I mentioned, so yeah, the Chiefs won't be happy with that one. DMAC, of the 18 turnovers the Chiefs coughed up, the stats say DMAC is responsible for 7, which is a fair chunk. Suali'i, like I mentioned, showed some power for his try and some gas as well. 115 run meters right up there for the Tahs. So, yeah, really, really statement win from them. They just need to learn to do it on the road. They're away in Fiji next as well, which is not the easiest place to go. So, there you go. The Tahs keeping their playoffs alive with their home win over the tabletop and Chiefs. Then we move on to Saturday, the Battle of Auckland between the Blues and Moana Pacifica. They reckon there was like 18,000 fans for that one, but there was also the Aupiki final, which is the women's final after that game, so it was kind of a double header. But yeah, 36-17, the Blues going back to the mold that maybe won them a Super Rugby title. Mauls, 7 mauls to 2, and yeah, a Ford dominated performance for the Blues. just doing the core things right. You feel like there's so much ball early on. Basically kind of strangled Moana out of the game. Riccatelli got the first one. Bodie Barrett passed Mornay Stain in terms of all-time Super Rugby top try scorers. He's now second behind Dan Carter, who he's not going to catch. But yeah, he scored a try, which was a little bit fortuitous because Adi Savia got stripped in the tackle by Papali'i, and Savia had his knee on the ground. So that one was a bit of a miss by the officials, but it ended in a Blues try. Tuipulotu, Talia, Sotutu, and Eklund. So barring the Barrett and Talia ones, they're all tries from the forwards. And yeah, it's a bonus point for the Blues, which is much needed. Blues are still in 9th, so still very much in the chasing pack, but a bonus point win at home to Moana was certainly an important one, and it puts them ahead of Moana Pacifica. For the Moana boys, Ta'iloa, Whailangi, and Taimoifolau scored tries. Taimoifalau's one was an athletic finish, but it was a bit too little too late. Yeah, they were basically having to chase the game. So Lamb had a pretty good game in his, 50th performance for the Blues. So a few turnovers won, a few defenders beaten. Looked pretty good. But yeah, very, very important win for the Blues. Malolo got pinged at one point for seemingly using a bit of bad language against the Blues guys, not even against the ref. So you don't usually see that every day, but 36-17. Much needed win for my Blues. Speaking of much needed wins, the Highlanders got a much needed win over the Drua, who still can't win on the road. There was a while in this game when it looked like the Drua would pass the Highlanders, because the Highlanders were ahead. Filimone debut for the Highlanders went pretty well. He bagged himself a couple of tries early on. The Highlanders had a pretty decent lead, but there was a while in this game where all the momentum was with the Drua. All the Highlanders could do was just tackle and kick clear, and then the Drua would just throw another wave at them. Yeah, that was it seemed like a foregone conclusion that the Drua would finally surpass them, but no, the Highlanders managed to hang on. Talking about tackling the house down, it was 215 tackles to 73 in this game. So the Highlanders, despite the fact that they get enough tries to score themselves a bonus point, it's the defence which eventually holds on. Filimone, like I mentioned, got a couple. Thomas Umaga Jensen got one. Lasanga got one. Jack Taylor, the reserve hooker, got one. That was probably the try that killed the momentum for the Drua, because it was kind of against the run of play. Talia and then Gilbert as well. For the Drua guys, it was Roberto Kurivoli and Loganimasi. Loganimasi looked dangerous. So dangerous, especially on the kick return. You sometimes have to question just giving the Drua the ball back, but the Highlanders just wanted to get out of their own half. Renton, 28 tackles. He was right at the forefront for the Highlanders defenders. Robert Tomande had 100+ run meters. Loganimasi, 4 line breaks. Rotu Maitavuki Neepkins had 3 try assists. So yeah, 43-20. Speaking of much needed wins, the Highlanders needed that. Bonus point for them as well. And then the battle of the two top Aussie sides, the Reds and the Brumbies. The Reds have been tipped up at home by the Brumbies, 39-26. I didn't see that coming, especially when the Reds were up 14-0, tries to Paisami and Asiata. I thought they were going to see this one out, but the Brumbies, again, the Maul's 4-1. Ruck turnovers lost, 6-1 by the Reds. So the Brumbies dominate the core areas, kind of similar to that Blues game, I feel. And, scrub, Maul, Ruck, get these things right, and you're going to get some good pay. They did. Valetini, Alalatoa, Tualima, Pollard, these are all the forwards. These guys all got over the whitewash, and then Toole at the end. So 5 of the 6 tries for the Brumbies coming through the forwards. Paisami, Asiata bagged a couple, and Pakeho got a late one. They didn't concede a bonus point loss, the Reds, but they couldn't get a losing bonus point of their own. So, yeah, they'll be really, really disappointed. The Brumbies just look comfortable, especially in that second half. I don't know, it was like an arm wrestle, and you could just see the Brumbies squeezing the life out of the Reds in this game. They just couldn't get a foothold. They conceded more penalties. The scrum was getting pinged. Tumaga Allen was getting pinged off the bench. So, yeah, really, really impressive win for the Brumbies, because I was kind of thinking the balance of power in Australia had shifted towards the Reds, but 39-26. Yeah, I can't wait to have a look at the power rankings calculation for this week. Valetini, 13 carries. Nick Frost, 17 tackles. I mean, McCright made 19, but yeah, really, really impressive by the Brumbies. Looking at the table after 9 rounds, the Crusaders This is a hauntingly familiar sight. They topped the Super Rugby table on 28 points. The Chiefs are one behind them in second. Then there's a little bit of a gap to the Brumbies and the Reds, both on 23 and 3 and 4. But the Brumbies have got that key third spot in terms of being a host for a playoff match. The top 3 sides will get those. Reds, Waratahs, and Force are in the 3 spots, which are outside of the hosting rights, but still in the playoffs. The Force were on the bye, and the round is gone. And then outside the playoff spots, the Highlanders on 17, the Hurricanes on 16, and the Blues on 16 are still the 3 Kiwi teams in the chasing pack. Plus Moana are not far behind on 15, and then the Drua are genuinely behind, still only on 7 points. Next week, key match between my Blues and the Crusaders. That's down in Christchurch. That's on the Friday. Crusaders will be big-time favourites for that one. And the Drua are hosting the Waratahs. The Drua absolutely need to win, and the Waratahs need to find some away form. Moana Pacific is hosting the Brumbies. One would be thinking the Brumbies, based on their positions on the log, but this season's been so hard to predict that who knows. Then the Chiefs take on the Highlanders at home. The Chiefs will be looking to bounce back, and then the Force hosting the Hurricanes. The Force, you would think, need to make Perth something of a fortress between now and the end of the season. So, yeah, we'll see if the Hurricanes can get a bit of a break in their losing run as well, and the Force can bounce back from the bye. Come out of the bye, firing, and look to hang on to their playoff spot, which they are just hanging on to at the minute. You guys let us know your thoughts. How do you see the table shaping up between now and the end of the season? Take care, folks, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.